It's like, Mom, I'm not retarded. I do more drugs than you, and I'm not retarded.
I don't know what aquamarine biologist told you that bullcrap. If we found out that Mars was made of 90% diamonds and oil,
We're in that bitch digging. You up a little bit of paper, and all of a sudden you got some American freedom.
Once it looks like the top half of like a pumpkin.
I'd crack the fuck out of an alien.
If you're the only person on Jupiter, your dollar is Venezuela money, bro. It's worth nothing. His mom got really drunk one night. She attacked my boy Phil.
Should have swung back or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, cops did cops.
Maz trap house.
Yeah, so.
You wouldn't get a laptop tomahawked at your head. Fucking cocksuckers. Listen, yo, Gravity Bong Company, and nondescript Gravity Bong Company, suck my fucking balls. Okay, fuck you. All right. No, I'm not.
I know the one you're talking about.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Bang, boom, pow,
Can we
dude.
also turn the air conditioning off? I'm a little chilly.
Sure, I guess, yeah. I might start getting warm.
72 would be good.
Let's go 71.
72.
72 is a little
72
extreme.
is my perfect.
Oh, it's on 71? Oh, 72 then. Yeah, okay, yeah, I love that. You know, that's great. Yeah, 72.
72 is my gaming temperature.
71's a great temperature. I think you're just,
Bro,
maybe a little.
is my gaming temperature.
You have a gaming temperature?
Yeah, and then my sleeping is 67.
6'7".
I guess. I still don't know what that means. I sometimes I see comments that are like, Kyle said 6'7", and
You're
I'm like, I don't know what that means.
You really embody like a 70-year-old drunk uncle. Just like you're somehow encapsulated in like a young guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got the political
I don't know what
beliefs,
6'7"
the
means.
Mustang, you know.
I don't get that shit.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to Crackheads, episode 11. We're really making some progress, Kyle, don't you think?
Yeah.
We're getting pretty far in at this point, you know, double digits. We're in the rafters now with the double digits. Episode 10 was a little, we're dipping our toes in the water now. Dude, episode 11, making serious progress. It's a beautiful time to watch Crackheads. So thank you all for supporting the show. Thank you all for dropping your likes, dropping your comments, dropping your subs, and supporting in general. And listen, if you're watching on YouTube right now, please hit the subscribe button. I damn near beg of you. I had to hold myself back there. I almost said I beg of you. But we want to hit 100K. Listen, Kyle, you don't have a plaque yet.
No plaque.
We got to get you a YouTube plaque.
Bro, that would be so cool. Yeah.
Just hanging it up. Where would you put it? Like in the crib?
Well, the living room's kind of tied up right now, so maybe I would probably take down my Banksies.
Okay,
and then
they're reprints, right? You're not.
Yeah,
balling.
they're
okay.
not. Well, you can't really buy a Banksy. He only does graffiti.
I don't follow art, bro. I'm gonna be honest. You know.
He just does like street art. Nobody
you have a
owns
prints,
a real
hanging
Banksy.
Up?
Yeah,
and you would take them down for the 100K plaque.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, guys, drop a sub, drop a like, and do your due diligence and support the show. I don't even think that's the proper application of that term. But
a plaque.
How have you been since last week, Kyle? What's been up with you?
I've just been chilling. I've just been gaming.
Been hanging out, vibing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
You done anything exciting? Gone out in the past week or anything? You know.
No.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Just want to get a little update in. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of the same way. I mean, that's pretty much the same for me. I got like a cool dinner. I went out to dinner.
You got a new computer.
I did. Well, that's not
pretty
exciting.
hype.
No, that's not thrilling. No. My computer, I didn't even have that thing for 2 years. It was supposed to have many more years on it, and the motherboard shit the bed. And listen,
I remember you were advising that I bought a computer from the same website. Yeah.
Maybe I was trolling.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
Listen, there's two parts that I'm too lazy to replace in a computer. Motherboard and the power supply. Because those damn near require you to build the whole thing again. Mm-hmm. And my motherboard died on me. So I said, F this shit. Yeah. I'm buying a new computer. And no, I'm not happy about that, Kyle. No, I'm not happy about that.
But you got a new PC? That's kind of fun.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
it's expensive,
if my grandma bought it for me, bro,
right,
I logged into my bank account and choked.
Don't log into your bank account for a little while.
Brother.
Yeah, I feel you.
The Russian ruble has gained nearly 40% on the U.S. dollar in the past year, and you're telling me not to log into my bank account. The U.S. dollar will be worth nothing in 12 months' time. I'm logging in and clearing that bitch out like I'm robbing a bank, okay? Sorry, I got a little worked up.
Yeah.
I got a little worked up. But Listen, guys, Crackheads episode 11, and we got some conspiracies to talk about first and foremost today, don't we?
Yeah, you want to put your tinfoil hat on?
Do you want me
ready?
to go? Am I going first, or are
I
you
think
going
you
first?
should go first. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me about your conspiracy.
Welcome to fucking Dale Gribble's
What do you
house,
got?
dude. Welcome to Crackheads Conspiracies, everybody. Listen, I have one. Listen, I'm just going to be totally honest. The conspiracies I've presented on this show up until this point are minor league ass shit up until what I'm about to tell you about right now. Okay? What I'm about to tell you about has extremely serious implications and could potentially shake the whole foundation of not just this country, not this podcast studio, but the world. And I put those in order of importance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me about it.
You probably know all about Bitcoin. Maybe you don't know everything about it, but you know what Bitcoin is. You've heard of it.
I'm familiar with Bitcoin.
You know, Bitcoin
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think pretty much everyone, even my grandmother, has seen Bitcoin on the news, bare
Right.
minimum.
Yeah.
Now, Bitcoin, for those of you guys who aren't informed, the creator of Bitcoin is supposedly this mysterious, anonymous individual named Satoshi Nakamoto.
Mm-hmm.
That's his nickname. That's not his government name. Nobody knows who this dude really is. I'm here today to tell you and everyone watching this show that Satoshi Nakamoto, the supposed creator of Bitcoin, is not a real person because Bitcoin was the first ever cryptocurrency created by the National Security Agency, which is a branch of the United States government.
Okay.
Satoshi Nakamoto is not a real person. He is the feds.
All
Now,
right.
before we go any further, I want to say two things here. First and foremost, I say this. I don't think I'll ever believe a conspiracy that I present on this show as much as I do this one.
Really?
Like, I wholeheartedly believe this is the truth.
Okay.
I mean that. Like, I'm not just saying this for content. This is true. A lot of people, I started using Bitcoin when I was very young, okay? In like 2014, I used to sell skins on a game called Team Fortress 2. Earbuds and Bill's hats were two of the skins that were most valuable in the game at the time, and I sold those in exchange for Bitcoin,
Mhm.
right? I'm very well versed in crypto. I've been experienced with crypto for a long time. I'm telling you right now, Bitcoin is it's feds. It's literally a federal entity. So let's read the supposed bio of the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Satoshi Nakamoto is the name used by the presumed pseudonymous person or persons who developed Bitcoin, authored the Bitcoin white paper, and created and deployed Bitcoin's original reference implementation. As part of the implementation, Nakamoto also devised the first blockchain database. Nakamoto was active in the development of Bitcoin until December in 2010. Nakamoto's true identity is unknown, although various people have been posed as the person or group of people behind his name. His name is Japanese, and his persona suggests a man living in Japan. However, many speculate that he is a software and cryptography expert from the United States or Europe. Assuming he is an individual person, Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin holdings make him one of the world's wealthiest people. His Bitcoin wallet, which has been untouched since 2010, not a single transaction, either inwards or outwards since 2010, holds an estimated 1.1 million Bitcoins. For
Wow.
those who aren't well versed in how many Bitcoins that is, the total supply of Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins.
So
It's
he
like it's not
owns-
21 million exactly. There's
He owns
little
a
bit in
good
there.
percentage of the
He
total.
owns approximately 5% of the entire global supply of Bitcoin.
Wow.
And because of the nature, to simplify, I don't even understand it. It's very complex. But because of the nature of technology and the blockchain and how Bitcoin was developed, those 21 million are the only coins that will ever exist, right?
Right.
This man has a Bitcoin wallet that contains $135 billion worth of Bitcoin, and he has not sold or touched or even moved a single cent of it since 2010. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but why does that indicate that it's the government, right? Well, let me explain. Bitcoin was released in approximately 2008, right? 2008, 2009, around that time frame. Honestly, the year doesn't really matter because what I'm about to tell you happened a decade prior. Mm-hmm. In 1996, the NSA, National Security Agency, a branch of our United States government, published a report titled How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash. And this report was authored by 3 NSA employees, and only these 3 employees. Lori Law, an NSA cryptographer, Susan Sabat, an NSA policy analyst, and Jerry Salinas, who is an NSA mathematician who is known for his elliptic curve cryptography. These are terms that are way above my pay grade, and I'd assume yours too. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about with that. But what's important about that is the contents of this document that was published in 1996, approximately a little over a decade prior to when Bitcoin became the first ever cryptocurrency. This document was over 30 pages long, and it was published just in magazines and general publications at the time. It was in an MIT publication and issued to anybody who wanted to read it. And this document explores the cryptographic foundations for creating secure, anonymous digital currencies like Bitcoin, and drawing on the existing research, like a researcher named David Schaum's blind signatures, and referencing experts such as a guy named Tatsaki Okamoto.
Okay.
It has gained renewed attention due to perceived parallels with Bitcoin, including the first ever mention in any sort of educational or higher literature documentation of an electronic payment method or electronic coins or an untraceable digital payment. This is the first time, like the NSA, it's not just the first time the NSA has ever described something like this. This was literally the foundation of anonymous digital payments, was this report by the NSA. And while this report wasn't like an exact blueprint for Bitcoin, there were some very questionable similarities, such as the anonymous, untraceable digital cash, which now somehow is traceable. The government has seized a significant amount of cryptocurrency from bad actors and people who own anonymous markets and people who are trying to jute taxes and things like that. But here's the biggest part.
Okay. This
paper references something called a precursor to SHA or SHA-256, which is a technology, an algorithm that the NSA later standardized in 2001. This algorithm called SHA or SHA-256 is what essentially makes Bitcoin mining possible. When someone mines Bitcoin from their Bitcoin mining device, that algorithm is what verifies that that person should be paid for their work in mining. Now, SHA-256 was something developed directly by the NSA, and it's called Secure Hash Algorithm 256-bit. It's a cryptographic hash function developed by the National Security Agency and published by the National Institute of Standards and Technology in 2001. And it's like a sequel to existing secure hash algorithm technology. What this technology is hard to explain, and probably everybody watching this doesn't fucking know what this is. I barely know what it is. I had to do a lot of research to prep for this. It is essentially a technology that can verify digital transactions in an impenetrable way. What it is, to get a little more technical, it takes an input of any sort of data, a file, a string, a transaction, and produces a fixed length 256-bit output called a hash or a digest, which appears as a seemingly random string of 64 hexadecimal characters. The function is designed to be secure, fast, and collision resistant, meaning it's computationally infeasible to find two different inputs that produce the same hash or to reverse engineer the input from the hash. So what that means is basically any information that this algorithm puts out, it's not possible to duplicate it. It's not possible to fake it. That kind of technology is used in Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is mined, which is how like people process the transactions, they reward people using this algorithm. This algorithm was developed by the NSA. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Now, what really doesn't make sense to me is let's just think about some of the logical, common sense facts. First and foremost, the NSA, a United States federal branch of our government, has somehow developed the algorithm that effectively powered Bitcoin, powered the entire format of blockchain technology. The creator of Bitcoin, the supposed Satoshi Nakamoto, has almost $250 billion. Right now he has over $1/10 of $1 trillion sitting in a wallet untouched for 15 years now. Now, what really makes me kind of curious about that is, Kyle, what kind of person or entity can afford to not take a single dime out of $135 billion?
Dead person.
Yes, absolutely. And that is a possibility. But if he was already dead, he didn't develop Bitcoin alone, supposedly. So supposedly, he had help somewhere along the way. There was early test transactions sent to other wallets, and the owners of those other wallets, their identities are verified, and none of them have ever identified who Satoshi actually is, right? Everyone who had supposedly been, every individual who, like, the internet decided, oh, this is Satoshi Nakamoto, the news stations showed up to their house, and they gave pretty feasible info as to why they're not that guy, right? Now, bigger picture even.
Okay.
Why do you think the current United States administration is pushing for widespread cryptocurrency adoption?
So it goes up in value?
So it goes up in value. That's correct. And they want it to go up in value, presumably because they own a lot of it before they start making it go up in value, correct?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Now, what makes these individuals that are so high power in our country, so high influence, think that we single-handedly can influence and control the value of this currency and help pump it? Because we know that we fucking developed it. It is our asset. The original wallet of Satoshi Nakamoto, containing over 5% of the total Bitcoin supply, is owned by the NSA, and it's a government asset. And every transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain is observed by the government, because the government has created the greatest honeypot they've ever created of all time. Quote unquote, anonymous, untraceable digital currency. And somehow, despite this cryptocurrency being anonymous and untraceable, the government has somehow arrested every single developer of any washing services. There used to be something called Tornado Cash. It was a service where you would tell this service who you wanted to send your Bitcoin to. So let's say I had $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, but I made it illegally, and I wanted to give it to you. If I sent it directly to your wallet, it's displayed publicly on the blockchain, and anyone with enough data on us could see that. A service like Tornado Cash, you send the Bitcoin to them, and they break it up into a bunch of different, like thousands of smaller transactions that all end up in your wallet at the end of the day, and they take a small fee off the top.
Okay.
Effectively, every single one of those services on the public internet, the owners have been arrested and tried in federal court. All of them, even international. Most of these owners are Dutch, and they're arresting these people in the Netherlands and extraditing them to the United States. How are they able to seize these individuals if this blockchain is supposedly digital and anonymous? Because it's not anonymous, we developed it. It's only anonymous to the other countries in the world. The NSA, the CIA, the FBI, every United States agency, they can see every single thing that happens on the Bitcoin blockchain. And that is why I'm telling you today, if you're trying to avoid the feds, maybe you shouldn't buy Bitcoin. That's my conspiracy today, Kyle.
Wow.
What do you think?
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Thank you. Because I really believe this, dude. This is like the most serious I've ever been about a conspiracy. You know?
I'm not a huge crypto guy. I've actually never invested in crypto myself, so I don't feel directly affected, but it makes a lot of sense. It checks out, and that does make me like very curious about what's going on with crypto. You know,
just be a little. Ask some
that?
questions, bro. How is Satoshi anonymous? You have 130 bill and you've never cashed a penny?
Yeah.
You either died or you're the feds. And I'm going to be honest, bro.
Or
I don't think he fucking died.
Or I have also heard tragic stories of people with like fortunes in Bitcoin, but they just like they had it on a hard drive somewhere,
Mhm.
or they had it on like
They
a
lose the
flash
wallet,
drive and
yes.
they lost it. So it could also be like that, where it's just a
He
tragedy
developed
and
that
he
shit.
lost
There's
it.
no way.
Yeah, that's probably
He
true.
made
Yeah.
Bitcoin, bro. If
Yeah.
anyone can recover a lost wallet, it's fucking Satoshi, apparently. But
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe not. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, let's take a moment out of today's episode to talk about our kind and wonderful sponsor over at Five. Five, as you guys who probably know if you've been watching the show, has been hooking y'all up with free bags of gummies every single month. And this particular bag that they're offering y'all this month is absolutely wonderful. It contains 150 milligrams of green goodness. You can probably fill in the blanks on what that is. And that is 15 milligrams per gummy, coming in at 10 gummies total per bag. And the homies at Five will ship this bag that I'm holding directly to your door completely free. Just check out the link below. Don't miss out on this offer because, listen, if you know me well enough, you know I'm not a huge edible guy. But everyone else in this studio right now has eaten these gummies before and gotten fucked up. And if you watched the Joel Blazer Gobcast episode, you also know that these gummies will make you retarded. So make sure you go get your hands on a free bag of 5 gummies and end up like Joel Blazer, high as fuck. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's get back to Crackheads episode 11. What's your conspiracy for the week, Kyle? Fill me in.
You ever heard about Project Bluebeam?
No? What the fuck are you talking about?
All right. So this theory was first outlined by a Canadian journalist in 1994
Okay.
by a guy named Serge Monast.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not from America.
He was Canadian.
Knew it.
In 1994, he wrote a paper called Project Bluebeam NASA, in which he claimed to have inside information from government contacts.
Okay. What is this blue beam, though? Like, is it... I'm imagining a blue beam coming from the sky and
There's
just
no
eviscerating
blue
someone.
beam,
Oh.
but he does think that there's like a lot of holograms involved. But anyway,
So what is this project, then?
So Serge said this project included 4 main phases. Phase 1 would be the breakdown of archaeological knowledge. Basically, fake discoveries would change the way we understood history or religion. Basically, the government or some higher, like society would plant archaeological evidence that would alter history as we know it.
Like, we dug up a dinosaur and it wasn't ever real. The government put the bones there?
Sort of.
Okay.
Serge thought it would particularly be something of some like religious significance. So some sort of artifact. Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, they all have like basically the same God essentially, but one like they all have basically like one minor difference in their belief. So it would probably be something of like an artifact that affected like those 3 religions, most likely.
So they would plant like a religious artifact for researchers to dig up and
Right.
be like, wow, this is true. And it's not really true.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So they would basically like disprove Jesus or prove Jesus or something like that. That would basically, the goal would be to probably unite all 3 of the religions into one. Because those 3 religions are pretty down. I think there's like 5 main religions if you include like Hinduism and Buddhism.
Why do you think they would want to unite the religions?
So the main goal of Project Bluebeam would be to unify like a world government to basically have like a new world order sort of.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole idea is to usher in a new world
Imagine
order.
if the feds governed the world.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So stage 2 or phase 2 would be a massive display. Basically, the general public would be fooled into believing a religious apocalypse or large alien invasion was occurring in order to necessitate a global government or new world order.
Okay.
And today, this could realistically probably be done with holograms from satellites, like like Elon Musk is sending like thousands of satellites into the sky for his whatever program.
The Elon program.
Yeah, he's got
Okay.
so many companies. It's gets hard to keep track of them all. But or light displays from drones. There's we already do that where we have like fancy light displays for 4th of July or whatever, and we can make faces in the sky already. So light displays from drones or staged natural disasters like wildfires or tsunamis. So obviously a wildfire is pretty easy to start. You just light something on fire in a desert with a lot of trees or something, like California. Or a tsunami. You could probably cause a tsunami by like setting a bomb off like under the water in the ocean or something like that. So yeah, I think a lot of these ideas are probably possible today with modern technology.
Do you think that like, okay, I have a couple questions about this.
Mm-hmm.
First off, this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this sounds like something that like a journalist, like someone has theorized. Do you think this is really happening in the world today? Like, do you think there's anyone's planting these artifacts? Or like,
So,
what is
one thing that's kind of really popular right now in today's media is this like 3I or I3 Atlas. Like it's this basically a meteor from interstellar space that's entering our galaxy, and a lot of people are speculating that it could be alien or alien spacecraft or something like that. And it's only the third like recorded object from interstellar space to enter through our asteroid belt. But one thing that I noted was that all three of these recorded objects from interstellar space started like, I think the first one was like 2008 or 2012. So for me, I don't know that it's as rare as we think it is. I think maybe we're just recently getting the technology and the idea even to even try and track that sort of thing. So
what is like, I'm curious, like what is like, for example, like the U.S. government doing this, like what are they doing right now? Are they like burying stuff? Are they beaming shit into our heads? Like what are they doing?
Well, they are bringing a lot of attention in the media to, things like Oumuamua or 3I Atlas. And as of late, there's a lot of attention in the media with aliens in general, there's like that white pill shaped thing that the military officers are always talking about on Joe Rogan and stuff like that.
Oh, aliens are real as fuck. Listen, whether
probably
the guys who have seen them go on fucking Joe Rogan or not,
probably.
I just don't believe that we are the only planet that harbors living creatures.
But I think it's interesting that that's always been a secret until as of lately. Like as of recently they're talking about it all the time, and like military or government officials themselves are just going on Joe Rogan and talking about it. And I do question what changed. Why was that something that all of them were terrified to talk about, and now suddenly they're being so public about it?
I mean, they're going on Joe Rogan though.
Right.
I don't know if I would consider, listen, with no disrespect to Joe Rogan, his show is great. I don't know if I would consider Joe Rogan a suitable official like news source,
No, but he does have a large audience, and I think it's very interesting that these, assumingly credible sources are going in front of such a large audience. And
yeah, he's not just getting random crackheads that are like, I saw an alien.
Right.
He's getting people with like verifiable, accolades.
Commander Joe Frazier is going and saying like he saw aliens himself. And
can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about aliens? Do you think we're alone in the universe?
I don't, but I don't necessarily think that they would be as interested in us as we think.
Why is that?
I think it would take a ridiculous amount of resources to travel intergalactically.
For sure.
And I don't think that there's probably really any incentive for any. I think like a super advanced civilization would probably be capable of like finding sufficient energy and resources on their own planet. I don't necessarily think that they'd have enough interest to travel to ours.
It's an interesting take. I feel like my POV, I mean, the way I think of it, I think as humans, if we had the tech to travel intergalactically, like if we could go to a new galaxy and fly by all the planets, maybe even land on them, we probably would, no? So who's to say that aliens wouldn't feel that curiosity?
I think that, okay, so I think that if we found out that Mars was made of 90% diamonds and oil.
We're in that bitch digging.
Right.
Yes.
We'd land on Mars tomorrow.
I'm iced out, bro. Yes.
But why don't we land on Mars tomorrow? Because it's not worth it. There's no financial incentive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that same logic would apply to another advanced civilization. And maybe it's not financial, but I think that any advanced civilization has resources and things that they need to survive. And I don't necessarily think that they need what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do think aliens are probably real, but I think it's very suspicious that suddenly our government is pointing to them all the time and bringing so much attention to them when 20 years ago they were very like polar opposite about it. You know, they were very secretive and although like many like pop culture movies like Men in Black were basically centered on that idea that the government was so secretive about aliens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm a firm believer that aliens definitely do exist. I don't think they exist in the form factor that like we see them in movies and probably picture an alien. But like I just think like on every basis, like scientifically, bro, biologically,
right?
There's no way that the Milky Way is the only galaxy that harbors life.
Probably not.
There's for sure galaxies so far away we don't even have a word for how far they are yet.
Right.
That contain probably very advanced civilizations on those planets. You know,
I think there's probably multiple advanced civilizations in the Milky Way. The Milky Way is huge.
Really?
Our solar system is such a small part of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been to like 2 other floating orbs in this whole galaxy.
Right.
We haven't been to any others. We just look at them through a scope and go like, well, looks empty to me, dog.
And it's really hard to observe, A, because we're surrounded by an asteroid belt, and B, because of the way like light travels. Yeah, like the way we perceive time, light travels very quickly to us, but through intergalactic space and how huge that is, light travels very slowly. So if we were to observe a planet that were, you know, like let's say they were 1 million light years away, which is not that far in space.
Yeah.
We're seeing that planet when we observe it through a telescope 1 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If someone were to look at Earth from 1 million light years away, they'd probably still be seeing like dinosaurs and shit.
Really?
Right.
Because like
so,
the signal, like the visual.
Because light takes that long to travel.
Let me ask something then. That's kind of a crazy question. Bigger picture than even all of this, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're living in a simulation? Like, does that support or stand against the theory that we live in a simulation?
I think it's possible, but probably unlikely, no.
So let me ask a different question then. What do you think, like when we spawn in, right? When our lifetime begins, any living being's lifetime begins, what do you think dictates the life inside of them? Like what determines whether someone is an alien in a galaxy far, far away or a human on Earth? Like how does that even...
Well...
Do you believe in reincarnation? Or like what do you think happens? Are we going to become aliens in the next life?
I think it'd be the same roll of the dice that you get, like, so, you know, what makes you human versus a sunflower. Yeah, right? It's just a roll of the dice that you spawned in as a human, basically. Yeah. So I think it'd be the same thing. Did you spawn on Earth or did you spawn on Titan or whatever? So no, I don't think we're necessarily in a simulation. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's likely.
I feel like personally, like humanity as a whole is just so ignorant to like life, like what it even is. Like the fact that many believe that we are the only living beings in the universe is so ignorant. It's crazy.
Right.
Like there's no doubt in my mind that we aren't alone in the universe. There has to be other living beings out there because if there's not, then what the fuck are the implications of that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
We're the only planet with living beings ever? Like, what? That's not
Right.
true. There's no way. Interstellar may have been one of the most realistic movies ever made, and we just don't know it yet.
Interstellar was a
Great,
fantastic
amazing movie, bro. I've watched that
Yeah.
so many times.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in a rehab, I watched a movie like 5 times, bro.
Yeah, I've
and it
watched that
carried
movie
me.
a lot of times.
We would sit there in group therapy just talking about Interstellar. Like, what do you... Literally, this exact convo.
Have
like,
you ever watched that movie Tripping?
No.
Incredible experience.
See,
Yeah.
I feel like if I watched it tripping, I would like not take it really seriously. And this topic fascinates me. Like, I want to take it seriously.
So, you know, towards the end of your trip, like the last 3 or 4 hours, you kind of hit that like enlightenment phase where you're like almost
Depends on
like-
the day, but sure.
I don't
yeah.
know if it's true or not, but at the least, like for me in my experience, I at least feel like I'm smarter than normal in those last few hours of my trip. And
I would agree with that. I would say I feel smarter than the hours prior.
yeah,
That's how I
like
put that.
so the way I would like kind of gauge this is like so I would always play video games when I tripped. The last few hours of my trip, I would play out of my mind, like the best player I'd ever seen for the last couple hours of my trip.
Want this?
Sure. So I think that if you watch Interstellar in the last couple hours where you're kind of coherent and just like having crazy, like very intricate thoughts, Interstellar is the best movie of all time when tripping. Yeah.
It just really breaks my brain hurt to like think about space and aliens and that kind of stuff. Cause like, dude, despite humanity really knowing nothing about space and the universe and everything, I think it's easy to say that like we don't even know a fraction of a percent about life or like space or anything. Like our comprehension level of everything we know is entirely based on this planet. And there's tons of planets across the universe that we just don't know anything about.
You know what? One thing that kind of ruffles my feathers is you know that common thing that people are always saying, like we know more about space than we do about the ocean.
No, we fucking know.
I think that's the most ignorant statement of all time because we don't even know how big space is.
Literally, yes.
Like, no, what are you talking about?
I agree with you 100%.
We can't even calculate how much we know about space because we don't know how big it is.
We've met thousands of species that live in the ocean.
Right.
We've never met an alien.
Right.
We have
and
never met a
we
species
can
that live in
calculate how big the ocean is.
Yes.
Like,
We know volume-wise how much water's in the ocean.
Right,
How
right.
like how much of space the ocean takes. We know everything
Right.
about it. We can't put a number on shit in space.
I think that's the most ignorant statement of all time.
Yep.
We know less about the ocean than we do about outer space. No. I don't know what aquamarine biologist told you that bullcrap. But no. No.
Do you think that like potentially humanity will become like an interstellar species one day? Like will we be traveling and interacting with these other galaxies?
Yeah. I don't know. Intergalactic, maybe not. I do think that we will probably colonize other planets. My belief, like I was saying, I think once that a species is advanced enough, the resources on their home planet will probably be sufficient.
Yep.
So I think, I mean, a common theory is that like the most advanced civilizations are using things like Dyson spheres to harvest like
Fuck is
the
a Dyson
energy.
sphere?
It's basically
I have a Dyson vacuum.
basically like a giant contraption built around the sun, or
I
you
looked
know,
this up. Is this like a Googleable thing?
right. So
A Dyson sphere is a hypothetical megastructure conceived by physicist Freeman Dyson to completely enclose a star and harness its entire energy output. I'm fucked up. Sorry, you guys.
Right.
Representing an advanced civilization's ultimate energy solution.
So think like solar panels on Earth. We can capture like a good amount of energy. We're all the way on Earth. What if we could build a solar panel belt around the sun? Like just a belt of solar panels around the sun, and somehow transfer that energy to Earth.
No, honestly, I firmly believe this is probably something that there's some alien species already capitalizing
and
on.
we have some sort of like evidence, not hard evidence that's like, okay, for sure other civilizations are doing this, but we have some clues that other civilizations are probably doing this.
Yes.
So it's things like this, just the thought that, you know, humans can conceptualize something like that. A more advanced civilization should be more than capable of at least thinking about that. I think it's probable that something that was a civilization or a species that was capable of intergalactic travel and, you know, intergalactic colonization would also be capable of something like
There's
this.
Mr. Dyson, bro.
And I think something like this is more practical and just
Who are you looking for?
preferable to intergalactic colonization. Because why would you realistically, why would you want to go live light years away from your family, or like rather
For that
than
paper, bro. What do you mean?
Maybe, but what if you could just
Bro, you bang my
create that
line and
paper
say I
here?
got you $1 billion space bucks a year to go live on fucking Jupiter and like the goddamn Giga Galaxy.
But if you're the
I'm in
only
there.
person on Jupiter, what is your dollar worth?
I'd crack the fuck out of an alien.
If
so
you're
I don't
the
really
only
care what the-
person on Jupiter, your dollar is Venezuela money, bro. It's worth nothing. You know?
But I said space bucks, $1 million space bucks.
Yeah, but you're the
USB
only
means no.
person there, so you don't have anybody to give the space bucks
Well, yeah, but you ever
to
seen
in
Futurama,
exchange
bro?
for
They'd be
goods.
fucking with robots and squids and shit.
Yeah.
Like, they'd probably
Yeah.
figure it out. I think
But-
a true advanced civilization that is like a space species that's intergalactic is multiracial or species or whatever. Like, they're interacting
Sure.
with different,
Sure.
you know, tons of different
But
people.
I think that an intergalactic tradesman would be more likely to go to
Oh, hell yeah, he's
a
racist.
largely inhabited planet like Earth than the one guy on Jupiter, you know?
I agree with you. That guy would have a hard time. He is the most extreme example of a minority that humanity's ever known. He's 1 v. a billion.
Right.
Okay? Imagine if like
1v7 billion.
Imagine if like 1850 you just dropped one black guy in America.
Right.
That would be really bad because we were very wrong to those people then. So like if you got dropped on Jupiter today, yeah, you're in trouble, buddy.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I think like I feel like it would be hostile. Like if we encountered another space entity, it would not be like oh dude, we're fucking sending some reps over. Like, yeah, we got fucking Kamala Harris on the ship to fucking Jupiter. You know? Nah, we're sending Blix over, dude. Like all our homies we know that joined the military just died on Mars. You know?
Yeah.
That's how it would I feel like it would go.
Yeah.
You know?
So you think aliens would smoke us?
Oh my God. I personally think that like we are probably in the grand scheme of things not very high on the technology totem pole.
So one theory that I have about like advanced civilizations is in order to reach that level of like really advanced technology, I think something like that, like unified government or just a unified people, one language, something where everyone can communicate together, whether they live, you know, in China or America, they can all communicate and exchange ideas and information. I think that sort of civilization would be more advanced, right? So I guess basically my point is I think there'd be a point in civilization where once you're advanced enough, things like war aren't really on your radar. And so the things like developing weapons would kind of end. And so I do wonder if there was a species capable of like intergalactic travel, would they even bother with weapons? Like, or would they be a mostly peaceful civilization? Because when we send scientists to research, monkeys in South America.
Mhm.
Are they bringing assault rifles and
No.
giant weapons? No.
But they
They're
don't
pretty
need to smoke the
peaceful.
monkeys.
Why? Because exactly, they don't need to smoke
We already
the
beat them,
monkeys.
though. Like, in the grand natural selection scheme, we beat the monkeys. They're not a threat. They
Right.
might beat the shit out of one scientist.
I
We're
think-
humans, bro. We'll smoke his bitch ass.
I think that a more advanced civilization would think of us the same way. They don't need weapons. They're way more intelligent than us.
I
They don't
actually
need
disagree.
weapons.
I think they would perceive an unknown threat as a valid one, and they would probably really prepare for that. And then they come here, probably blick a little bit, and realize, oh shit,
Do you think
we're
that
smoking them.
Do you think that aliens have been to Earth yet? Like, do you think that all the so then why aren't they smoking us?
I think they probably just came by one time and visited on their way to somewhere else.
I think they treat us like we treat, like,
Okay.
National Geographic stuff.
You want to go into a whole different conspiracy right now? Because here's why I think the aliens visited Earth before.
Okay.
The pyramids are not fucking possible without alien technology.
Okay.
Like, without current technology, like, how the fuck did they place all those blocks and then carve? Like, no, they didn't
Okay.
do that at the time.
And I support that. Some of those blocks are like 180 tons.
So
That's
operating
ridiculous.
on
Yeah.
the assumption, like, let's say we both agree, okay, aliens had a hand in the development of the pyramids,
Right.
and they've been here before. Why aren't they still here? Why aren't they coming back?
Right.
You know?
My theory on that is and because also pyramids are all around the equator.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all built around the same era. I don't think it's coincidence that humans all got that idea at the same time. Let's all build pyramids around the equator.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probable maybe
It's
there
just the
was
trend at the
an
time,
alien civilization where their primary resource was like gold. Because what were all of those pyramids all around the equator filled with? Gold.
Mhm.
Whether it was the Aztecs or the Egyptians,
Interesting.
they were filled with gold. So I think it's probable the pyramids were built by aliens. The aliens needed gold as a resource. It's a fantastic conductor of electricity, It's also fantastic in acoustic situations or environments. I get whatever. We use it. Yeah, we use it for audio stuff.
Mhm.
But gold is a
Megami
fantastic
golds.
resource.
Yeah,
I think
those
it's
kids, I know.
possible aliens at one point needed gold as a valuable resource and made our pyramids and told us fill those pyramids with gold.
Mhm.
But it seems they haven't really needed that gold anymore. So maybe that resource is outdated for them now. Just like, iron is sort of outdated for us. We still use it, but not the way we used to.
I kind of imagine like the aliens that pulled up during the pyramids were probably some of the earliest aliens to either A, come to our galaxy, or B, just get intergalactic technology in general. And they were probably casing their surroundings. So like, what are the nearby threats? I think if humanity developed that technology where we could go to a different galaxy, that would probably be one of the first things we did. We would immediately go travel to all these other planets and be like, well, what is threatening us right now? Are there any other species? We would like... If us sitting here are asking those questions and debating this topic, there's no way the highest level people at NASA and all these agencies that develop that stuff aren't asking the same thing.
I think that if we found monkeys on Mars,
They'd be space monkeys. They would be our monkeys.
I think that we would build pyramids in logical locations around Mars and train the monkeys to fill those pyramids with things like diamonds and oil.
Okay, you just lost me.
You
valuable
valuable
resources.
resources. I think we'd train the monkeys to fill those pyramids with valuable resources like oil or diamonds or gold. And then we'd just stop by, pick up the resources, and bring it back to Earth.
No, you had me up until space monkeys are filling our space pyramids with oil. And then you lost me. I think the aliens built the pyramids. Why are we building them?
No, so I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened here is we
Okay.
are the monkeys. They built the pyramids, and now instead of oil, which would appeal to us, we're filling the pyramids with gold, or at least we used to.
So you think there's pyramids on other planets?
No, I'm just saying that if we found monkeys on Mars and there was oil there, we'd do the same thing. We'd build pyramids and we'd tell the monkeys, fill those pyramids with oil so that we can come back and claim that oil, and then we'll teach you things, like how to build fire.
So they like did a little tech trade or something.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, a research agreement.
And it's possible that things like that are still going today. Remember, like 2008 or 2010, there was that big government push for like cash for gold. They were giving everybody like cash for tons of gold.
This is a crazy conspiracy.
It's possible that that's how we have the technological advancements we have today. Is we're still making those trades.
We were serving
instead
commercials to your grandma to buy her jewelry.
So maybe instead of the Pyramid of Giza, it's just they go to the White House or Area 51 and they trade gold for technology.
Honestly, I hope you're right. For like my optimism about life as a whole, I hope you're right. That would be sick.
Yeah.
Would you want it? Would you want to interact with aliens if they pulled up? Would you want to go meet them?
That'd be dope. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, my brain. You literally brought. I don't think you understand how much you had me up until monkeys are putting oil in.
That was just a metaphor. That was just a metaphor. I don't think that's really happening. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think that's what happened to us.
Okay.
I think we're the monkeys.
We're the monkeys.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like aliens in general at some point in history, no matter what they made us do for them, pulled up and probably realized pretty quickly we're not a fucking threat. Because even right now, we don't have the technology to even poke an intergalactic species.
Right. Like it was breaking news when Korea said they could send a missile to California.
Mm-hmm.
We can't send a missile to Mars.
I want to send a missile to Pluto.
Like, if we can't send a missile to Mars, we cannot send a missile to a galaxy far, far away, right? So we are not a threat.
Yes.
It would take us hundreds of years to even send a probe to another planet. So, yeah, we're not a threat to anybody.
Shout out all the aliens, bro. They're probably cool people. They're probably never going to see this episode.
Yeah.
What would you, like, all right, hypothetically, that camera right now, there's an alien watching whatever that's putting out. What are you going to say to that camera right
now? Thank you. If you gave us the technology that you did, that's pretty cool. The pyramids are pretty dope.
Fire.
Yeah, gold was a good trade-off probably. So, cool.
Gold prices are high right now, bro. Might not be that good.
Yeah. But that might be because there's less supply, supply and demand. Maybe demand stayed the same, but supply went down because the aliens made another pickup.
You know how, like, those cartel guys in Mexico do, like, those posts where they flex a bunch of, like, American money?
Mm-hmm.
You think the aliens are doing money spreads with Benjamins?
It's possible.
They go to Jupiter and, like, Galaxy 98,000.
But isn't it also curious? Like, why do, like, the two largest gold reserves in the world are Fort Knox and then the British royal family?
You just riled me the fuck up saying Fort Knox.
So
there's no gold in there.
Really?
That shit hasn't been audited in decades, bro. There's no gold in that bitch. I promise right now. How do you think we bailed ourselves out of the 2008 housing crisis? We dipped our hands into Fort Knox and we never stopped doing it. And that's why.
Or maybe it was crypto. Because you said the last time that portfolio was touched was 2010. So prior to 2010, maybe we did use it to get out of the housing crisis.
I think there's a very good reason why the current administration and prior administrations refused to audit Fort Knox's gold stash because they know what the outcome is going to be already.
I think we got out of the 2008 housing crisis just because Obama's policies were really good, man.
Yeah, but that's not very conspiracy. That's not very Dale Gribble of you. That's super like, all right, bro, just go stand in the line at the polls then, bro. Like, just go vote, like, fuck. I'm at home tweaking, dude.
I was just kidding.
Well, Kyle, I got to say, first and foremost, I think we actually crushed it with the conspiracies this week. I definitely believe that there's some alien shit we don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had some good conspiracies. But I feel like it's time to reminisce a little bit. Take it back to reality. We're talking about the space aliens and the Bitcoin being owned by the CIA.
You got some memories you want to tell me about?
Let's just talk about some old homies, A little homie of the week type of vibe, Kyle.
Who you been thinking about, bro?
I guess if you insist,
I do.
I'll take it away. Let me ask a question, a bit of a preface question. Do you vividly remember the day that we smoked crack?
I mean, yeah. Out of all the days that long ago, that's the most
namesake
vivid
day?
memory. Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember my good friend who pulled up to buy a 10 strip off Ashton right after we smoked crack?
Yes.
I feel like I had to talk about him this week for our homie of the week because
All
he
right.
just came to my mind immediately. He
Yeah.
used to always come by. He would never trip with us. He always wanted acid, though, and he would hit me up because I was like the middleman between my acid plug and him. He never wanted to close the connection and get rid of the middleman. He would always just hit me up.
Okay.
And that day when we smoked crack, I remember he hit me up to buy a 10 strip off our friend Ashton, who was there with us smoking the crack that day. And he bought that 10 strip that day and also ended up in the hospital alongside you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. He ended up in the hospital as well. And I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
I can't say this with pure certainty because he's never confirmed it to me, but I think he got put in the psych ward. So it was a
Yeah.
bit of a different branch than you were in for your toe
Right.
issue.
Because I was out same night. We didn't hear from
Yep.
him for like a week or so.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy, my boy Jason, he was the homie. He's still the homie. We
Right.
grew up together. Like, this is one of the few friends I'll talk about on the show who I've known a lot longer than I've known you.
Right.
Me and you, sophomore year.
And one of the things that like acid is often praised for is like if it's clean, you can't there's no real physical side effect. You can't really physically overdose.
Mhm.
The worst that can happen is a mental breakout. So the fact that he was in the hospital for so long, to me, like it had to be mental. Acid doesn't cause like
Well,
physical.
he's been in the psych ward, I think, more times than we dropped a Crackheads episode. And
Wow.
every time he would take psychedelics, he loved acid for some reason. You remember our first acid trip was at his house,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, yours, yeah.
No, it was his.
Your
Remember?
first acid trip.
I'm sorry, my first acid trip. Yes, he's correct. It was not Kyle's. Kyle was kind of trip sitting both of us, but me and Jason's first acid trip was at Jason's house. He would literally have a full on like mental health episode every time he took acid, and he would still buy it every fucking week, anyways. Like he didn't give a shit. So like most of his like psych ward trips were like psychedelic induced, and he would just keep fucking doing it. I'm gonna take this off. I feel like we can.
Yeah, mine's starting to fall.
Yeah,
and
mine's
it's
falling
getting
too. No,
annoying.
I
It's
also-
making noise, yeah.
I feel like I didn't explain earlier. I went for a kind of banana peel vibe today, but I put it on backwards. So like I just realized that and I took it off. It was supposed to be like this, a little more over the front.
It looks like the top half of like a pumpkin.
I was thinking
or,
banana peel, but
cabbage.
pumpkin works too. Yeah, cabbage as well.
Have you
Cabbage
seen
Patch
that
Kid.
one video where like the two boys are on that speedboat and they got that leaf over their face,
No, what the fuck?
like to protect their face from bugs when
No.
they're going fast in the speedboat? Oh well, it looked like that, but on the top of your head instead of the front.
Well, I made the Crackheads version.
Right.
But yeah, Jason would always end up in the psych ward every time he took acid, no matter what, and would continue buying it. And one of, I think, the most interesting parts about this guy is like he goes through, he's the only homie I have who's like this with his, drug of choice. He goes through these random like episodes of extreme alcoholism. And then he gets his shit together and like locks in and won't do anything. He won't drink, he won't smoke, he won't do anything with
When you say extreme alcoholism, like how extreme?
So
Like drinks
I had
every
another
day,
friend
or
named
like-
Nate. Oh, every fucking 2 seconds, bro. He used to go. So one time, me and my friend Nate, and this started when we were like 16. Like the moment this guy started drinking, he just became a chronic alcoholic, dude. Like imagine like the worst alcoholic you imagine. Like he's been pissing himself all day. He lives in a single wide trailer in Narnia, and he drinks Busch Light.
Okay.
That's my dog Jason, right? And I don't even say that to disrespect him. He's my homie, but like he would love that description of him. He would be like, "Yes, that's me."
I do remember the last time I saw him, I did not recognize him. I know in my defense and his defense, I didn't have my glasses on and it was a little bit dark. But I remember I introduced myself to him. I was like, "Yo, what up? I'm Kyle." And he was like, "Bro,
That's fucked up.
like you know me."
That's
and,
fucked up.
and then it took me a second and I was like then we were like face to face and I was like,
oh, I do know you.
What's up, Jason? My bad,
That's
dude.
fucked
Like,
up.
but I do remember, like, I did not recognize him at like first seeing him. Yeah.
This guy literally I've known since like I've probably known him for 20 years at this point. Like I grew up with this fucking guy. We used to pick him up, me and my homie Nate. We would go pick him up to hang out, and it was like the three of us were like, I had a few friend groups when I was younger. Like you and like all our homies we did drugs with was one of my friend groups. But then me, Nate, and Jason were like a different friend group because we all were on the same football team as kids. So
Okay.
like even despite how many drugs we were all doing, we always would like still hang out and like keep that going.
Yeah.
You know? So Jason, one day me and Nate go and we pick him up and I'm in my car, I'm driving, and he literally opens the back door and he dives in my back seat and he's sloshed as fuck, bro. He's sitting there like he's barely making sense. He's like, take me to Jewel Osco. But like drunk as fuck. He's like, David Julasco. David Julasco. We're trying to go. We had plans to go to Five Guys.
Why do I go to Julasco?
You're about to find out. So he's like, take me to Julasco. Take me to Julasco. I'm like, bro, we're trying to get Five Guys. Like we already planned this. We called him in advance and told him we're going to get Five Guys. We take him to Jewel because the Jewel was literally feet away from the Five Guys. You know which one I'm talking about. I don't need to
I do.
share.
Yeah.
The Jewel Osco was literally feet away. So we're like, fuck it, bro. We'll go to Jewel. So we park up. And we wait there for like 15 minutes. And Jason comes running out with a 30 rack under his fucking arm. Like how I used to steal,
Just
bro.
running?
He runs out and dives in the back seat. And he's like, go, like, get the fuck out of here. And we fucking pull off. And he's like, I just need to get drunk. You know, like I just needed another rack, you know? And
Okay.
after that, that was the first time I ever realized, like, oh, he's a real alcoholic.
And how old were you guys at this point?
16 or 17,
16.
maybe?
He was like already.
And like as we got older, he just got worse. I kept kicking it with him because like we're homies until eventually he got so drunk, like he got so like fucked that like he literally wouldn't get out of bed for like days at a time. Like he was that kind of alcoholic. Like he had a 30 rack on his nightstand and he would just crack beers all day and not get out of bed. And like I didn't know about this until one day his mom goes to the same bar that my mom goes to.
Okay.
And his mom is just like trauma dumping on mine. She's like, because they knew each other from like the football games, you know, they'd be on the sideline talking. So his mom's talking to my mom. She's like, oh, like Jason's like really bad right now. He's like really drunk. And my mom comes home and she's like, is Jason a fucking alcoholic right now? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know?
Mm-hmm.
He is a deep alcoholic, but also like he never even liked alcohol. Like when we were younger, bro, he used to do like he used to speedball. He used to do like meth and heroin and shit.
Really?
A little after our acid phase. He escalated fast.
I did not know that.
Well, that's when we stopped. I kind of stopped hanging out with him because like he would be
Because that
going
was
to
our no-no list.
He would be going to like downtown Aurora and buying meth in like sketchy locations. So I didn't want to hang anymore. But like nowadays, he's gotten a little better.
Okay.
I still talk to him every now and then. But like one of the things that he still to this very day does that like concerns me, he goes through those episodes still.
Yeah.
Like he's still, bro, he's such an on and off guy. It's so
binge
weird.
Drinking.
Everyone else I know, like, bro, you, me, all the other like addict homies I know, like we had our long stints of being addicts and then either we kept doing it or we stopped. But like Jason will literally have all his shit together. He'll go to work. He'll be totally sober. He'll have a good relationship and like his life going. And then he'll just one day, I don't know how he does it, just grab a bag. And his parents hated me forever because I introduced him to smoking weed. So his mom fucking blamed me for all of it for years. And I was always like, dude, like, I don't do the drugs your son does. Like, I never put his ass on that shit.
If you ask me, it's like I remember your first trip at his house. Like his house was really nice.
Mad nice, bro. They had money.
I have to
They
I
had
have
money.
to assume they had good money. So
His
I
dad
also then have to assume he has a crazy support system when he goes on these binges.
So
like, is his family kind of enabling?
okay, I don't
him?
want to air him out. He's my boy, but what I will say is like his parents got divorced and his dad like remarried. He basically copped a mail-in bride and just adopted a new family.
Okay.
So like that didn't work out well. And I think that also contributed to the drinking because I've kicked it with him, you know, recently enough, like after his new living situation.
Yeah.
And like he's doing better now, but like he used to be pretty fucking bad, bro. Worse than you ever saw him, I think. You know what's the funniest lore about this kid though?
Mm-hmm.
Me and him, my first ever date with a girl, and his first ever date with a girl, we double dated it
Okay.
at the mall.
Okay.
Right? His mom drove me and him and
Is
her
it the
little
mall we lived by?
yeah.
Okay.
His mom drove me and him to the mall and dropped us off. And we were supposed to meet these two girls there, Amy and Ella, bro. And we met them there. They hung out for like 20 minutes. And in like literally the snap of a finger, Ella says something to Amy. I'll never forget it, bro. She's like, oh, we should go over here. They dip and never come back. And we're standing there at the mall. Bro, we're in like 7th grade. Or some shit. Like I'm literally like 13 years old with like $15 in my pocket. And I just got ditched on my first ever date with my dog. We're on the 2-man, the first ever, dude, and I just got ditched. So I remember we're sitting there like we waited for a minute. We sat on this little bench on the 2nd story of the mall by the glass railing and we're like looking around like where'd they go? What store did they go to? I don't know. I'm calling the chick that like I was supposed to be with. She's not picking up. And this is back when like, bro, I had like a Samsung Galaxy like S2 or some shit. It was like my first ever smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was like, it was crazy, dude. I felt like an adult in this moment. They ditched the fuck out of us, both of us, dude.
That was probably so much better that you got ditched on a double date
mean?
though
What if it was
than a
great?
single date. Like,
Okay, yeah.
imagine you were on a one-on-one date and got ditched.
Well, we went and
That
played
really
the 2K
sucks.
demo at GameStop until his mom showed up to pick us up.
So at
it
least
was
you had the
okay.
homie there, right?
But like,
Yeah.
bro, they ditched us and it was fucked up, dude. It was like super fucked up. Me and that guy, we trauma bonded almost, you know?
Right, exactly.
Like, yo, you remember the first time you got blue balled? Yeah, bro, I was 13, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that vividly. And like, he also, I think one of my favorite things about Jason, when we were super young, he used to leave, when I used to make YouTube videos in like 2013, they get like 10 views a video. Bro, he'd hop on the burner account and leave hella hate comments.
Why?
I don't know, just to fuck with me, dude. Like, he'd be like, yo, this video sucks, dude. He'd always tell me, he wouldn't like ever do it like maliciously, but like just to like fuck around, you know. He'd log into the burner, it would be like named like Jason Johnson 22, and he'd be like, this video fucking blows, bro. Like, you're retarded, you know? And then like I come to the lunch table next day and like we just argue about it. It was fun, dude.
Damn.
You know? He's one of the homies that like when I look back at all our friends that we used to party with and do drugs with, like the addiction shit really got to that guy. You know? I think you and I are pretty fortunate that like things worked out the way they did.
Yeah.
But like a lot of my old friends, at least, like never really got out of that cycle, you know?
Yeah.
And now we're at the age where that shit really matters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do feel lucky that like with all our drug use, like the worst like that came of it is people think I'm a little bit autistic, you know?
Yeah,
Like, that's not that bad.
outcome. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. You know? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, you know, and it's tough, like being someone who's like not doing it the same way they used to, and like talking to your friends who still do it, because it's like the only thing they ever want to do with you is like go retarded,
Right.
and like there's nothing else you'll do with them but that.
Yeah.
Fucked up, man. Who do you got in your mind this week, though, Kyle? Who's your homie of the week this week?
Well, I was gonna tell you about my my homie Jake, who we've gamed a little bit with him. So
He's your friend from before you moved to my town, right?
Before I moved to your town,
Okay.
I lived in this other town for a while.
So tell me about this friend of yours, Jake. Why is he so significant?
Now this was the homie in this old town. I originally met him through like I was in like freshman year of high school, and I didn't have any good reliable plug or consistent plug. Every time I was buying weed, it was usually like I would just pitch in with a homie that was buying weed. So I didn't have my own plug. Now Jake was one of my first, like, I don't remember if he was my first plug, but he was one of my first plugs for just buying weed. So that's how I first met him. I don't remember like precisely how we started hanging out, but I know that so I moved to like California for a while, sophomore or junior year of high school, and then I moved back. And before I went to your school, because your school actually wouldn't take me right away because of the way my credits transferred
Get
over.
fucked.
And
What the
that's
hell?
why I got held back that year. So,
Uh-huh.
so for like a semester, I was just not in school and just kind of hanging out. So I went and I was hanging out with Jake because he was, kind of like a homie before I moved to California. So when I moved back, it made sense. Like, I'm going to chill with the old homies, right?
Mhm.
So then Jake and I got way closer. We kind of bonded over our mutual love of, substance abuse and mostly psychedelics. We loved LSD in particular.
How'd you meet this guy initially? Like, do you remember the moment you fucking met him?
I sort of do, yeah. I was buying weed from him like at a playground outside of like an elementary school in a different town. Yeah. Yeah, I had to like longboard over to a different it was like a different city, I guess. So it was a long journey on a longboard. Yeah, we used to have to it would take like an hour to get somewhere that takes 5 or 10 minutes by car. Yeah. But yeah, Jake, he really loved psychedelics. He even went to juvie for growing shrooms in like middle school. So he was kind of already a legend, but before I met him, he was a legend because he was growing shrooms and had already gone to juvie like in like 8th grade or whatever. So I had already heard about him before.
So everyone
I
thought
had
he was
met
cool.
him.
They were like, wow.
Yeah, basically everybody
Yeah.
was like, all right, that guy, he was doing that before we even smoked weed, basically. So
That's major.
right. He was advanced in getting intoxicated. Which freshman and sophomore year, that was very cool. This guy's basement, he had like a very dungeon-like basement that we'd always take LSD in.
Was that like your go-to spot?
That was the go-to spot. Me
Like
and
Cody's
the boys,
garage, but your version.
basically, yeah. So we'd have like a table like this one, but we'd get like 2 or 3 of them, and we just set them up side by side in his basement. We'd always play like rock, paper, scissors or something to see who had to sit on the far right. Because there was this old like bed frame. It was like a steel like bed frame, but no mattress on it. And it just had like 2 pairs of handcuffs on it. And that gave us bad vibes when we were tripping. So we'd always play rock, paper, scissors to see who had to sit in that, like the scary spot. But we'd put like neon trippy posters and, we had a disco ball with like black lights over the posters. We'd create a nice little ambiance in this very spooky basement. Had a lot of spiders too. But yeah, we'd all just play. We'd set up the tables and we'd bring our laptops and just play like League of Legends or whatever.
Just tweaking.
While tripping hard as hell.
I remember that's what we did the first time I took acid. We just kind of brought our computers over to Jason's house and set them all up, and that only lasted like 30 minutes. And then the tab hit me, and I didn't get back on.
So that's how the whole trip would go pretty much at Jake's crib. We'd just set up our computers in the same room and just game while tripping.
That's fun, though. That's like a good trip experience,
Yeah, because then whenever one person like was kind of like if one person was kind of starting to have a bad trip, you had 2 support systems right there,
Just a nice
it
supportive
really
ring,
kept the vibes good,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. One time his grandparents went on this. So he lived with his grandparents and his mom. His mom was a hooligan just like us. Yeah. So
Good D-Gen mom.
yeah.
Player.
His grandparents though were very straight edge. Like they had rules, like you can't smoke in the house type thing.
Yeah.
Now they went on this long vacation, like a cruise or something, for like 32 days or something like that. Trap house. So yeah, Jake just invited me and all the other boys over, and we just lived out of his house and just trapped. And
I'd have a heart attack. My grandkids were doing that in my house.
They didn't know.
On the
At
cruise.
least maybe they figured it out when they got back. I don't know.
You were
I
already
wasn't
gone.
there at that point. Yeah, but yeah, for like 3 or 4 weeks, we just drank Mountain Dew. We had like cereal and sandwiches, and I genuinely believe I ate more weight in drugs that month than I did in food. Like,
She had cereal, so you're good.
yeah, that was when I did that like super trip thing. Yeah, crazy. It did not actually last his grandparents' entire vacation because his mom actually had a breakdown. She got really drunk one night and came and like attacked. She attacked my boy Phil that was there. And he
I'm
had,
really
like, a
glad my
brand new
mom was just a
laptop.
straight edge woman.
Yeah, she destroyed his brand new laptop. It was awful.
Did she ever repay him for the laptop?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe he deserved it.
No, he was chilling. He was not doing anything.
Should have swung back or something. I don't know.
He well. I mean,
You just can't air
so
him out.
yeah.
He protected his rights. He defended
He
his
did stand
property.
up for himself. He
Okay.
did. Yeah.
No, good for him, dude.
Yeah.
Good for him. you
Yeah,
know?
he bought that laptop with like his military signing bonus.
Oh, so that's like
and
his
she
Corvette.
came in the
That's
room.
his
He
fucking
was literally
Camaro.
sitting there minding his own business, and she just comes in the room drunk and throws an entire can. It was like a tall boy, and she throws it right at him, and it hits his laptop and just fries it.
She might as well
It
have
was
blown
like
his
a week
Camaro
old.
up.
Yeah,
that's-
yeah. So he threw that shit back, and then
Wow.
it was brawl time. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because we weren't sober either. And for me and Jake, it was honestly, I was surprised. Jake was he was same as me, just watching it, like mesmerized. I was kind of shocked because that was like his mom, you know? Like I thought he'd be like, you can't do that to my mom. Nope. He was just, yeah, no, get her.
I mean,
you know?
he knew she probably deserved it in that
Mhm.
moment, you know? Like, it'd have
Yeah.
been.
Well, then like same night, he and her had a fight also, and that's why we had to evacuate the trap house.
Mm.
'Cause, yeah, the cops did.
It was Ma's trap house.
The cops did come. So,
Ma's trap house.
yeah, so yeah, we took all Jake's like trap supplies, and we hid them. We had put them in a safe, and we rode out on our longboards at like 4 a.m. and we hid them in a cornfield. So that when the cops came, if they searched his house, they would not be there. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
You went and recovered him later?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, you know, I gotta say, you know, I think anyone who has a mom that acts like that, maybe she should get a laptop thrown at her.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. Don't destroy the homie's laptop with a tall boy, and you wouldn't get a laptop tomahawked at your head.
Yeah.
You know, that's where
Yeah.
I'm at. You know, I'm also kind of curious, Kyle. We're doing a new little thing here. Question of the week. You know, just a little question here. And I picked this one. We'll probably alternate who picks the questions every week, but I picked this one because I just knew deep down that you were going to have a very fitting response to this. And our question of the week this week is, have you ever had to babysit a parent that was too fucked up? Now, I've, you know, sparingly had to experience this, but knowing Kyle and knowing Kyle's dad, who wakes up with a bottle of whiskey on his nightstand, you probably got some lore here, you know?
Well, I do have a request before we get into this.
No, okay, all right. make
Could we
that.
take an intoxication intermission?
Absolutely. Yeah,
That
see you in
sounds
a
really
minute,
good.
dude.
Yeah. All right. So you were asking about a time that I had to like sort of babysit a parent.
Your dad's one of the drunkest fucks I know, so I know you probably have something here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say he's one of the drunkest fucks I know. Not
Bro,
even close. But
Your father
he
wakes
is
up.
borderline alcoholic.
Borderline? He wakes up with a
Yeah.
bottle of Johnny Walker on his nightstand.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't touch it until nighttime, which is reasonable. You know, he drinks at night. That's
Bro,
like I don't think he gets like drunk. Like I know he doesn't get drunk every
Okay.
night. So like I mean, he has a drink every night, pretty religiously, but he doesn't get drunk. So I mean, I would call it like borderline alcoholic, but he's certainly not one of the drunkest.
is
fucks
he
I
just
know.
an alcohol enjoyer or like what?
He's an alcohol enjoyer, and he claims it helps him sleep. I really believe it actually fucks his sleep worse.
Why is
I
that?
think it might help him fall asleep, but I think it's actually crippling Like one of his biggest issues is he can fall asleep, but he doesn't stay asleep. I think that's probably the primary contributor. Because I know that like after we film Crackheads and I've been drinking, I'll sleep for like 3 hours and then I wake up with a tummy ache or something, and then I gotta go to the bathroom and then I'll go back to bed. But like that's his issue. So I think, yeah, it might help him fall asleep. But Dad, if you're listening, I think that is crippling him like big time when it comes to sleeping through the night. Yeah.
Have you ever had to like babysit him for the night?
Yeah. Can I see this?
Please be my guest. Yes, absolutely.
My parents, both of my parents were for the most part pretty straight edged growing up. Like they didn't really experiment with drugs at all until I came around. They would like drink when I don't know that they really drank much before they turned 21 even, but yeah, they would drink. They never really they never tried even smoking weed.
But you gave your dad his first dab, didn't you?
So I came along, got into that sort of thing. They didn't even know I smoked weed until I got arrested with LSD that one time. So at that point,
then you felt it was fair to like break the ice to them, or what?
Then I was in trouble for LSD, and weed to them was a way smaller issue. So then, like, because I kind of skipped to them, like, not finding out about it until it was a way bigger issue, they were cool with weed then. That was a good negotiation, or like...
That's smart, dude. Deploy the tactical acid bust and then be like, by the way, I smoke weed every day.
Right.
And they're cool with it suddenly.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah. So then they were like, okay, maybe not LSD, but all right, weed's chill maybe. So eventually, then after a long time of me just smoking weed and it actually being like pretty useful for me, like I did for a while struggle with insomnia, for example. We'd fix that right up, For a while, I was like on antidepressants after high school, and one of the side effects with that is it ruined my appetite. So weed then gave me that appetite back.
Ran it right back for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So weed helped me a lot, especially like when I was in my earlier 20s. That hurts to say. I'm not in my wow.
Why does that hurt? What do you
I'm
mean?
not in my early 20s anymore.
Bro, we're young as fuck.
Late
dude.
20s.
Mid to late, bro. Mid to late.
27 is late. That's the second half.
No,
that's into the second half.
Late's 28 to 30, bro.
We're halfway through the second half.
You're halfway. I'm 26 still.
I'm halfway through the second half.
I'm 26. You're just an old fuck,
20s.
bro. Honestly, if I was 27, I'd kill myself.
So in my early 20s,
I'm 26, so we're good.
Weed helped me a lot. I mean, I still use it, and I still think it helps me. Not nearly as much. It's not nearly as necessary as it was when I was in my early 20s. So, but my parents watched how much it helped me and how much like I was able to function on it. I got a job, and like in quick time became a manager from minimum wage employee. So they watched me like working hard and like functioning, and weed was helping me. So they were kind of open-minded towards it, and I eventually got them both to try it. My dad also had insomnia, so I had suggested like trying marijuana because that had helped me with my insomnia. His insomnia is much more severe than mine. So it would help him, but it didn't really like fix it all the way. So one thing that I recommended then eventually when like his insomnia was real bad one night, and he came up to me, he's like, you have any weed? Can I smoke a bowl? I'm like, you really struggling to sleep? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I got something. I think you're going to sleep whether you like it or not. You want to try a dab? And he's like, what's a dab? I'm like, it's concentrated THC.
Your dad's first time smoking, you give him a fucking dab?
No, he'd tried marijuana a couple times. And it, like I said, it helped, but it didn't like he still didn't sleep all the way through the night. It helped.
You got to give him that
fall
strong
asleep.
shit.
So, right. Yeah. I'm like, well, if that helped but didn't do it all the way. Let's try a little something extra. Let's try a dab.
Yeah.
Because I remember my first dab, I passed the hell out as soon as I got back to the homie's house. I cashed out in his bed, dude. I cashed out. So I'm like, this will probably make you go to sleep whether you like it or not. And
True.
he's like, all right, let's do it, So I gave him like a small dab. I'm like, this is his first dab. I gave him a small dab, and I gave him a nice low temp dab.
So he took,
but it didn't really. I don't think I heated the nail quite hot enough, or maybe I let it cool too much. I didn't have a laser at the time.
So did you give him 2 fucking dabs?
Yeah. So the first dab, I don't think he really got anything because he also didn't inhale very
Okay.
when when you and I hit a rig, it's like we hit that.
Oh, I'm getting the smoke.
He was like taking little baby pulls, right?
Yeah.
So, he didn't really get anything out of the first dab, and he's like, I don't really even feel it. So I'm like, all right, let me try. I'm going to heat it up a little hotter. I think I probably made that. I got the nail red hot, let it cool until it wasn't red anymore, and gave him a little bit of a bigger dab.
Classic method, bro.
Right. So a hotter dab and a bigger dab.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes that one immediately. And I'm telling him, this time hit it harder. You're not even pulling it hard enough to get any airflow. So this time he's hitting it hard. He's got a bigger dab, a hot dab, and he starts coughing his brains out. And to me, I'm like, yep, that's about right. That sounds like that's like my first dab. Coughed my brains out. And then I went and cashed out. So this is according to plan. But my dad has really bad anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So he has an anxiety. At first he's coughing. He's like, all right, I'm going to go get ready for bed. He goes and chills. I go and start playing video games, right? I take my own dab, go start playing video games. He comes out of the bathroom, ready for bed, he just brushed his teeth and everything. And he looks at me and he goes, Kyle, I feel like I'm passing out. And I'm playing video games and it just kind of registers passing out. Huh? So I take my headphones off, turn around, and he's tilting.
He's wobbling.
He's about losing balance.
Yeah.
So I run over and I kind of grab him and slowly try to take a knee and set him down. And he's out like a light, just out.
You're
cold.
caressing your dabbed out father right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then I'm kind of panicking because I'm like, oh my God,
you're the father now. Mm-hmm.
Right? So then my dad wakes up and he's like, where am I? What happened? I'm like, oh no.
I made him retarded.
You're good. You're on the bathroom floor. You passed out, I did tell you were going to go to sleep whether you liked it or not, and then so he's like, his anxiety's still going. And he's like, I think my heart is freaking out or whatever. I need to go to the hospital. I'm like, okay, wait.
What?
Let me get my Apple Watch. We'll check your heart with the Apple Watch for free.
Brilliant technology,
So I put the Apple Watch on. His heart rate's a little high, because it just passed out. And he's like, nah, I want to go to the hospital. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take you to the hospital. And they're going to be like, yo, sit down for a while, chill out, and you'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that here for free, And he's like, no, I want to go to the hospital. So I'm like, all right. I'm going to take you to the hospital. In my mind, I'm kind of like, shoot, I'm going to drive him to the hospital and they're going to be like, how'd you get here? Did you, you took a dab too? You drove him? Yeah.
You drunk fuck.
So I'm like, all right, I'll do it if you need it. But, they're going to look at me funny and whatever.
EMTs are so cool, bro. They
So,
don't care.
yeah, we get to the hospital. I explained to them. I'm like, and I took the same dab, bigger than his. I'm fine. So it's not poison. He's okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's just panicking, And yeah, so basically they checked his heart, let him chill out for a little bit, just like I said. And we went home. But,
and then they sent that boy a big fat bill in the mail to pay for all of that.
Yeah, and this was during COVID, so they wouldn't let me wait in the hospital with him. I had to wait in the car for hours.
So you're sitting there thinking
In the
yo,
cold,
I
in the
just
winter.
one-shotted my dad with this dab.
Mhm.
I'm the man of the house
Yeah,
now.
I felt pretty guilty. I did feel pretty guilty, but also, we didn't need to go to the hospital for this.
I feel correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I vividly remember a time when we gave your dad a dab. Did we not in your garage one time like give your dad a dab when he came out and took it and then went back in?
Probably not.
Really?
No, we might have smoked a bowl with him. We definitely.
It might have been
lot
a
of
bowl. I just remember your dad has like 100% smoked with me before.
I had a bong that was specifically his, and I would joke I'd call it the women and children bong because it was much smaller than all my other bongs.
Women and children
We
bong.
had like the big Kahuna, Ramses, and then that little like 6
Bro,
inch.
we broke those bongs literally just by being fucking retarded.
Man.
Like, I don't remember which one it was, but like one of our big bongs that we had. So I would buy these nice big bongs. This was like when me and Kyle, like the era we're talking about, I first started getting YouTube checks. Like I was getting like $2,000 a month. So like I would go to the smoke shop with Kyle and buy a big ass bong, but my mom would fucking crash out if I brought it home.
Right.
So I would leave it in Kyle's garage.
Right.
And our dumb asses left our water, like the bong water, sitting in the bong through the winter.
Well, the big Kahuna was empty when it broke. Like I had already emptied it out, but I guess there was probably like condensation or just leftover like residual water in the perk specifically, and that cracked and broke.
But one
'cause
of
it was
them
so
broke
cold.
specifically because the water froze. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pour your fucking ice out,
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I've killed quite a few bongs in your garage, Kyle.
Well, because my dad was cool with me having bongs, but I had to keep them in the garage so the house didn't really stink.
Yes.
But we lived in a very cold area in the winter, so yeah, it would get like below freezing, and the bongs did not fare well. Yeah.
I wish my mom was cool, you know? You know what's crazy, dude? Is like now when I go to my mom's house, she lets me smoke. Like I can literally bring a bong over and smoke in like her living room and shit. She doesn't give a fuck.
Nice.
She only ever cared when I lived there. When I was mooching off her, she gave a fuck. I'm not even joking. The first time I went back after I moved out, dude, I was smoking blunts in the garage with her permission. She didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
once
so
I started
different.
paying rent, my dad did not care anymore.
You up a little
Like,
bit of paper, and all of a
right,
sudden
so-
you got some American
Yeah,
freedom.
once we moved,
you know?
like we moved into in an apartment, and my dad was like a roommate. Basically, we just split the rent, and yeah, then I was smoking in the living room, in my room, did not care.
I mean, that
you
was
know,
probably
like-
lit for your dad. Your dad's been sitting there for like the
yeah.
past 2 decades, just like raising a family and shit.
Yeah.
And now he just gets to like have this roommate who just takes bong rips.
Yeah, no, it was a good.
That's a
yeah,
big
and then we'd
upgrade.
like go out to dinner all the time. Like
Yup.
it was good. Yeah,
And the
it
roommate
was good.
happens to be your bloodline. You
Yep.
know, he just happens
Yep.
to be your fucking biological son.
Yeah,
W, dude. I don't know. Your dad, honestly, your dad, I would love to get wasted with your dad because I remember, I feel like we talked about this before on the show when your dad had those occasional like mental health crash outs.
if he ever visits us out here, I guarantee we're getting wasted with him.
I want to get him a big fat
I
hooker.
know he wants to so bad.
I want to get him a big fat hooker, dude. Like 500-pound hooker. I would
Yeah.
pay for it, bro.
Okay,
I just want to be happy.
we
you
should.
know?
We should. Yeah, we'll work that out.
Dude, the biggest fucking hooker in America.
Yeah,
She has
it'll
to walk,
have to be like.
she has to shuffle through the door.
I don't know if he'll go for a hooker that like we'll have. It'll have to be like a stripper. You know, like. I don't know-
Strippers,
I
the
don't know that
classy
he'll go all the
version
way
for
with a hooker. You know, like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he draws the
Okay.
line at stripper, but
All right. You know, for me, when I think about my parents getting too fucked up, listen, my dad, 2 things about my dad. First off, the most straight edge guy I've ever met. If you met my dad, you would not believe that he birthed me. You would not believe that he presented me. He was a part of that, you know, formula. He's super straight edge. As far as I'm aware, the guy's never even been truly drunk. Like he's never smoked weed. He doesn't do that kind of shit. He's like a super straight edge, by the book kind of guy, boring ass life. My father, I also have not spoken to since I got out of rehab. So it's been almost 10 years now, right?
Okay.
He really dislikes my lifestyle. He loves a very prude lifestyle. My mom, on the other hand, when I got out of rehab, my dad refused to take me into his home because he believed that my YouTube channel was like enabling my addiction. He was like, you have to stop. I'm going to take internet away. Like if you move in with me, we're going to have no internet at home. I'm not folding for that shit, obviously.
Yeah.
So I moved in with my mom. I'm like, Ma, listen, I'll subscribe to all your rules as long as I can post YouTube videos. And
Yeah.
she said, bet.
nice.
So I moved in with my mom. And my mom was the same way. She was very, very prude, up until around when I was 19 or 20. My parents divorced when I was super young. I was literally like 3 years old when my parents divorced. So I grew up my whole life super used to like not having parents that are together and having, different custody days and shit like that. But when I was like 20, my mom started dating again. And she started spending like nights at her boyfriend's house and going over for weekends and shit. And she would come home hammered, bro. It was like she was going through a degen renaissance. Like, I personally, I'm really grateful that we did what we did when we were young because, like, I feel like we got that energy out of us.
Yeah.
I think everyone has that energy. Everyone wants to just go hard and party, but, like, they do it at different stages of their lives.
Right.
My mom...
Everybody's got that curiosity.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mom didn't explore that until she was, like, 50.
Yeah.
So... I'm like 20 years old. I'm in the basement doing cocaine and drinking fucking Ciroc every night. And she's going out staying at her boyfriend's for the whole weekend. So I'm on Snapchat inviting everybody over. I'm talking all the homies and all the hoes. All right. Come over, snort out of my bag. All right. We're going to figure that shit out. And it was great. But she used to come home. She started coming home super wasted. I've had to carry her up the stairs a few times. And she definitely drove. But she would never tell me she drove. She'd always be like, no, I got a ride. And it's like, Mom, I'm not retarded. I do more drugs than you, and I'm not retarded. Your car was gone, and now it's here. And there's no driver in sight. I know where you came from, But it wasn't that bad up until when I first got kicked out of my mom's house. It was like 6 months after. It was spring of 2020. And my mom wanted to come down to visit me in my, like, new place. And I was living in, like, a fucked ass spot, dude. You remember my old house in Springfield?
Yeah.
It was nice by Springfield standards and fucked by every other living spot standards. It was fucked up. My mom wanted to come down and visit me one spring. And I was like, okay, yeah, come on down. See what's cracking here. You'll be intrigued for sure. She came by and I think she almost like, it was a weird thing. At that time, me and my mom's relationship was like a little weird because she had just kicked me out of the house and we'd never really like discussed that. Nowadays, we're totally fine. But at the time, I feel like she felt a little guilt about kicking me out, especially after she saw my living situation. She's like, oh my God, this guy's fucked, So she wanted to she's asking me, I recently started live streaming and I had told her about that. I was like, yeah, I've been doing these live streams. It helps me pay the bills and stuff. And she was like, oh, well, I would go on one. And this is for sure lost media now. If it wasn't, it would have surfaced by now. I'm 100%. I don't even have this video anymore. I did a live stream in early 2020 where my mom came on and I smoked her out for the first time.
Nice.
So she hit a blunt and a grav bong.
Nice.
And she's never smoked weed before, dude.
A grav bong is a crazy
And leading up to that incident, I'm sitting there and I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, this is the forms you're going to, I didn't just hand her a blunt and put her on the spot. She knew she was hitting those things before. And I tried to explain, you're going to get pretty high. This isn't a normal thing. And she was really over eager about it. I think she just wanted to be a part of shit. So I was like, all right, cool, bro. I'm going to make some donuts tonight. Let's fucking do it. I went live. I had my little donation goal up, bro. She smoked the blunt. She hit the blunt 2 times. She hit the grav bong. I had a sponsor at the time that I won't name because they fucked me up. $300. Fucking cocksuckers. Listen, yo, Gravity Bong Company, nondescript Gravity Bong Company, suck my cock and balls. Okay, fuck you. All right. No, I'm not.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I bet a lot of people do. So either way, she hit that Gravity Bong because they paid me $200 to do it. They should have paid me 2 racks. Fucking dickheads. She hits that shit. She gets high as fuck. I end the stream shortly after because she I remember at one point she got up and she was off camera and she says she didn't even word for it. She just kind of body language was hey, is no good. So I cut the stream off and I remember, dude, she was having a full on panic attack. We go back down to my living room. She's sitting on my couch. She's like, oh, I'm freaking out and shit. I'm sitting there. I'm like, bro, I got to get some Zans, I got to hand my mom a Zan, dude. I don't know what else she's going to do. She's freaking the fuck out. She goes and throws up in my fucking bathroom. The only reason she was down in my hometown, A, to visit me, but B, she was apparently doing some trip south with my uncle to go see a different, I don't even remember. My uncle was there too. Called me off guard. And that was such a just crazy moment for me because up until that moment, I've never even seen my parents fucked up. My dad literally I don't even think he's ever been drunk before. My mom, I think she's probably, gone pretty hard in the past like myself, but just never told me about it for whatever reason. Listen, bro, the moment my kid's balls drop, I'm telling him the crack story. My mom, for some reason, hid that kind of information from me. I'm sharing that info the moment it's appropriate to do so, But either way, she's on the couch freaking out. She's throwing up in my bathroom. I'm like babysitting her and shit. It's like a homie's having a bad trip. You bring him a water and a blanket. You're like, just lay down. I'll turn the lights down, It was that moment I really like felt like a parent, Because like when she's drunk, like she'll drunk drive home. But listen, if you've drunk driven and made it home, the hard part's over.
Right.
Like just walk your fucking dumbass, drunk ass upstairs and go to bed. You already drunk drove home. But when they're high, she'd be tweaking, And then sometimes when I used to, years ago, bro, Five, the homies who sponsor this episode, they used to send me these old jars they make. And my mom wanted them because she has like pain issues. She had cancer when I was younger. So she has like pain issues and she wants to take the gummies. And like, dude, they fuck her shit up. She hates weed. She literally hates weed. Like, she despises it. Me, I like to smoke until I'm a drooling fucking idiot. But like my mom, if she takes even one of these gummies, I have to babysit her for like 2 days.
Damn.
It's kind of brutal. But your dad, I'm not gonna lie, out of all my homies' parents, like any of my friends whose parents I've met, your dad is one of my favorite individuals because he is just hilarious, bro. He's like I could see him as a character on The Office or something.
Yeah.
Like he literally just gets drunk and plays like Age of Empires or WoW.
He's very like
I'm like, that's me,
funny.
dude.
Yeah.
Like I relate to that. That's fucking me when I'm older. In like 30 years, dude, like I feel like my kids' homies are gonna come over and get fucked up and view me the way like I view your dad. And I'm like, that's pretty heat.
Yeah.
Your dad gave us a good place to get fucked up. It's what my parents did.
Yeah.
And let's say hypothetically, whether you plan to or not, let's say hypothetically you have kids and start a family in the future. Would you want your kid to come do drugs at your crib, or like how would you want them to do that?
Yeah.
You'd prefer like that format?
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I think that's the best way to do it. Because they're going to do that shit either way.
Right. And I feel like I would know how to identify when it's getting dangerous,
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you did them. Like
Right.
you literally, everything your kid is doing,
Right.
you fucking been through that.
Right.
You know exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gents, we got another fun part of the episode today. We're reading comments. We've been making a habit out of this, per se. Pretty much every episode now we've been reading comments. I think it's fun. We get a ton of fun comments, and especially for Kyle, you're, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not used to getting comments talking about you every week. So this is especially fun for you.
It is fun.
And it's so fun for you that this week, Kyle hand-selected every single comment that we're going to read today. So I'm going to pass this wireless mouse on over to you. Kyle, let's start reading comments, bro.
Moss Smokes says, I fuck with Kyle. He reminds me of myself. Motherfuckers be thinking we slow. Whole time it's a lot of knowledge under the hood.
So you just wanted to gas yourself up off rip. Do you think, like, when you read the comments, do you think people misunderstand you?
Sometimes, yeah.
They don't understand your true horsepower.
We got, yeah.
Okay.
Whole time is a lot of knowledge under the hood, bro. So,
what do you think that, like, people misunderstand most about you in the comments?
I'm really not. I feel like I'm really not that awkward, like, in person. Like, I feel like I come off very awkward on video, but I feel like
being on camera is super different.
Right.
It's super fucking different, dude.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, from my perspective, my, like, being on camera ability is solely acquired from just doing it for so long. And it's like it's something that, like, you can't teach. Like, you can't, nobody's just, like, naturally goated. Like, you have to learn, like, what to do. When to look at the camera even is, like, a big part of it. There's so many little nuances, you know?
So, yeah, I think, and that probably also highlights, like, because I'm sitting here in contrast, brand new to it.
Yeah.
That probably sticks out, you know? So, yeah.
I think people like it, though.
Yeah, but I promise in person I'm not quite as weird as you might think.
Ladies, DM him.
Yeah.
He's not weird in person. He's only weird on Crackheads. You know. Next comment we got here. What the fuck is this guy's name? Retsno Mikuk. He actually signed it. This is I love that you picked this comment because I see this guy. He signed it with his Twitch username, and I see this guy in my Twitch chat like almost every time.
Okay.
GayBob69X is his Twitch name, and he says, "I just want to give a shout out to Fish, or however you spell that shit. Goated cameraman. He on point with that shit." And yeah, Fish is behind the camera. He's our lead producer on Crackheads, and he's doing a great job. So, Fish, give him a wave or something. You know, show him your hand or something so they can like. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he really appreciates that. When we got in today, Fish was really happy to see that comment. So, you know, big ups, GayBob69. You're a really good person, dude. Next up, Kyle, run it.
Shawnee Boy KU8UQ asks us, what's the best psychedelic to start with?
I know the answer off rip.
Shrooms?
Shrooms. 100%. A small dose of psilocybin mushrooms is by far the easiest psychedelic to manage.
Yeah. And really the worst thing that happens is you throw up.
Yeah, literally. Right. Nausea is, I mean, obviously you could have a bad trip, but like a small dose, like if you take, let's say, 1.5 grams of mushrooms, which is a small dose but big enough to trip,
right,
versus taking 1 tab of acid,
right,
if you end up having a bad time, it's much more manageable on shrooms than it is on acid, in my opinion.
Right.
Although at the end of the day, a bad trip is a bad trip, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's also a lot easier to gauge how much you're consuming with shrooms because it's shrooms. Am I eating 1 gram of shrooms or 2 grams of shrooms? With acid, a lot of times you don't actually know how many doses are in the tab or gel tab or however you're consuming them. So they can be double dosed or triple dosed, and for your first time, that's probably not great.
Yeah, I mean, if you eat raw psilocybin mushrooms, you can weigh the exact weight of the shrooms and then generally know how much you should be taking. But yeah, with tabs of acid, sometimes there is no telling. Yeah. And there is a maximum on how much a paper tab of acid can hold, but there's not a minimum. There's not a minimum, you know? Right. So I think that is one of the things. And also, acid just lasts so much longer. Yeah. A shroom trip is at most like 6 hours, you know, 6 to maybe 8, really intense, like from literal the moment you feel an effect to the moment all the effects are done.
And I think for a lot of people, there's something comforting about shrooms being natural, you know?
For sure. I just think in general, listen, at the end of the day, like, you probably shouldn't take either of our drunken, stupid advice seriously. But at the same time, like, if I had to go back in time, I would start with shrooms over acid. My first psych was acid before shrooms. I would start with shrooms over acid. I think it's a much more mild thing. The reason that when I was younger, I avoided shrooms so long is because my first ever dose, I took 1/8 of shrooms, and that's a pretty intense dose. That's a lot, you know? So that's probably why I had a bad time. The next comment here from SSJ Rose 3785. He says, I don't think Goblin's autistic. Kyle could be, though. What inspired you to choose this one? Do you just want to express yourself?
I just said it was funny.
You know, I think, like, I don't know. I think we're autistic in different ways, maybe.
It seems to be a very trendy topic in our comments.
Autism, listen, being autistic is cool now. All right? Like 15 years ago, they didn't even call people autistic. They would just call them nerds and stuff them in the lockers. But now that's autism or something like that. Right. And, you know, they embrace it or whatever. I don't know if I am or am not. I just feel a little different sometimes, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't feel like those normal guys, you know? What about you? Do you think you could be autistic? According to this comment?
Could be, yeah. Yeah. But I don't think it like hinders me, you know, like, I mean, yeah, okay, I lost a job at Starbucks, but like other than that, like, you know,
you're really into this topic
else.
because you pulled 2 comments in a row that both
I think it's funny and
saying you have autism.
There's a lot of comments about it. So yeah, the next one from Big Man James. says, Nick, you are so far from having autism. I do think it's also funny. You do not have it in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But me, Kyle, on the other hand, is a prime example, he says. Thanks, big man.
I think the main reason that like people say that is like I'm a pretty like outgoing, like social kind of person.
Right. I am more introverted.
You're
yeah.
absolutely
Right.
you're not the same way
Yeah.
in that aspect. I'm a very extroverted person, but like I don't know, deep down, like I'm not that extroverted. I just do it because like
You're experienced with it.
it's almost my job at this
Right.
point, you know,
Right.
being extroverted. But deep down, I want nothing more than just to like not interact with anybody all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the dream. That's the fucking dream. Sinna says Goblin can make a crack house into a crack home. What inspired you to pick that comment? Do you agree with that?
That was funny too. I do agree with that. I actually, before we lived in LA, I actually got him doormat, welcome mat.
Oh
It said
yes,
that
my old
exact
apartment.
thing.
Yeah.
It said crack house or crack home, not a crack house or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm sure my neighbors really liked that.
I
doormat.
loved it.
Yeah,
I
they
loved
probably
it.
really
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
My old neighbors probably fucking hated me, dude. That whole hallway smelled like fucking blunts
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
And we were rowdy in there. And we used to, dude, I remember we used to invite fucking Brat and Phil and everyone over and take shrooms in my living room. And that was not a good, dude, that fucking crib was great, dude. I have a lot of memories in that shitty little living room. Man.
Yeah.
What's the last comment we got here, Kyle?
RegX1889 says
Bro, it's old as fuck.
Mondays might suck, but I know there's always that new Crackheads episode inbound. Makes the whole day better.
I love to hear that. You
Thanks,
know, listen,
RegX1889.
I stream on Twitch on Mondays. I do it early, so it's like a pregame to the Crackheads episodes. We really try to make Mondays better over here,
Yeah.
you know? And Mondays are looking awfully good lately. So thank you all for tuning in and supporting Crackheads on Mondays. I'm ecstatic to hear that we can make your Mondays better. That's great, because Monday is a shitty day of the week, except for someone who's chronically unemployed like myself, you know? So I'd love to hear that we can make your Monday better. And, you know, maybe, hey, we were talking before the episode, maybe we might in the near future even live stream before the episodes start filming, just to, you know, do a little pregame and give some incentive for the channel members, which, if you haven't scrolled down and looked right next to the sub button yet, there's a join button there. And pretty soon, we're going to be offering some real nice incentives for new channel members. So if you want to support, it's $3 a month, and every cent of that helps Kyle avoid the tow truck. So make sure you join today. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a beautiful Crackheads episode 11. Kyle, what do you got to say to the people?
Thanks, everybody. And check back next week.
That's right. Check back next week for episode 12, or check last week for episode 10 if you haven't watched it yet, because that one was a fucking banger too. Shout out to all you guys for supporting the show. I'm pretty drunk right now, and I would like to drink some water, so I'm going to do so. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
Later.
Deuces.